Welcome to the live stream. Today we're going over effective dumbbell exercises for both the upper body and lower body. So we're going to break this apart into two halves. The first half we're going to do upper body. So we're going to do exercises for the chest and the back with some of the arms included in that. And then we're going to do lower body for the quads, the glutes, and the hamstrings. So we're going to be doing two exercises for that. If we haven't met, my name is Greg. I have a degree in exercise science and I'm here to help. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat and I'll see if I can help you out with whatever questions you might have. Our goal here is to get people up and moving and helping you do that. So this is going to be a follow along workout. So feel free to do this with me. Or if you want to add it into your routine, in your workout, in your exercises, that's okay too. But either way, I'd encourage you to get up and get moving whenever you can, because we want to have people be happy and healthy. So what we're going to start with is a warm-up. So we're going to be starting with a dumbbell bench press. Now, for this, I'm going to start with a lighter weight than I would usually do for my dumbbell bench press. So I'm going to pick up 20 pounds. I usually do this one with 40, but I'm warming up the muscles and joints. So this gets blood flow into that muscle and helps everything get ready to work out. So for this, we're working the chest muscles primarily. You're gonna have your hands right over the top of your shoulders. And from here, you're gonna bend your elbows, trying to keep your elbows in line with your hands, bringing the inside of the dumbbell to your chest level, and then back out straight, or nearly straight. You don't have to lock out, just going down to your chest. Now this is the important thing. You want to go all the way down to where the inside of the dumbbell is at your chest level and back up. So we're doing about 10 to 15 of these, just getting some blood flowing into the muscle and joint. Hopefully you guys can hear me when I'm in this position. So it's okay for your elbows to come a little bit in towards your rib cage, where they don't have to stay high up like this. They can be a little bit down. That's okay. Whatever feels comfortable for your shoulder. The important thing though is to go all the way down. So if you need to drop your elbows a little bit in towards your rib cage, that is totally fine. Or if you think twisting those dumbbells to point them sort of towards your face, that's okay too. It's some people, that's what's more comfortable on their shoulder, but you should feel this in your chest. Start to warm it up your chest. What this does is it actually gets blood flow into the muscle, as well as the joint actually gets lubrication in it. So we're reducing our risk of injury to the joint by doing this. We're sort of priming that muscle. You can think about it sort of like a fuel pump for your car if you're a car person. I'm not really a car person, but that's the metaphor I've heard, where it's setting up the engine to get ready to move. So we just warmed up the chest muscle. Now we're gonna warm up the back muscle. This is going to be a standing dumbbell row. So this is our second upper body exercise. So we're gonna warm up this too. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna stand with feet about shoulder width apart, one dumbbell in each hand, and you're gonna lean forward. You're gonna hinge at the hip. So I'm pushing my hips to the back. See how I'm not bending my back? I'm keeping the back straight and hinging right at those hips, okay? That's gonna protect your low back while still letting you really fully engage your upper back, okay? So you're going to hinge forward, let your arms hang to the ground. So trying to really keep that back flat. From here, dumbbells are slightly angled in, so they're sort of at a V shape a little bit, and that way it will miss your knees as you pull up to the back. So from here, you're gonna pinch your shoulder blades together, pulling up to the back. So this is working all the muscles around your shoulder blades and in your lats, which are running along the upper part of your back, along your rib cage. You might feel it a little in your bicep as well. We're working those secondarily. doing about 10 of these. Now holding this position is actually good for the back muscles as well, those lower back muscles. They're not moving, but they're isometrically contracting, which means that they're contracting without changing their length. And doing about 10 of these, 10 to 15, just getting some blood flow into those muscles. This also helps get the movement pattern down with a lower weight. And relax. So that was our warm-up. So now what I would do is grab a heavier dumbbell. So how heavy is up to you. What we're aiming for is somewhere around 10 reps. So it doesn't matter if it's a heavy dumbbell, a light dumbbell, but if you, excuse me a moment. Oh. Thank you. All right. So it doesn't matter if it's heavy or light, but it's much more about, do you feel that burning in the muscle, that tension in the muscle? And we don't want to go so heavy that it's hard to do even 5 reps. That's too heavy. So I would aim for a rep somewhere around 10, just as a ballpark of how many reps you want to be doing. So try and find a weight that's heavy enough to hit that number. So for me, I'm gonna go to 40 pounds for the bench press. Now, whoop. What you can do is take whatever dumbbell you were warming up with and add between 30 and 50% to it, depending, and see how that does. So that's, if you don't know where to start, that's where I would do is take that, say you were at a 20-pound dumbbell, I would go for try for a 30 to 40 pounds, somewhere in that range. So for bench press, I like to rest the dumbbells on my knees, then lean back using my knees to help push them forward into position right over the top of my shoulder. From here, keeping a good grip on those dumbbells, you're going to bring the inside of the dumbbell to your chest and then back up. Try to not bounce the bottom, try and hold for just a moment and then back up, keeping it right over the top of your shoulder. Well, if you think about it, the elbow and the arm stay in a straight line pointing up at the ceiling. Now, if you want to, you can bend your knees a little bit more and push down into the ground. Some people find that's a more comfortable position and are able to push the weight easier. Now you should start to feel that burning sensation in the muscle. It's good, that's what we're looking for. I'm gonna try for 2 more. Go to where you feel that fatigue in the muscle. Should be hard at this point. That means we're growing the muscle. If it's not hard, then if you get to about 10 and you feel like I could do a lot more of these, then try going with a little heavier dumbbell. Okay, and we're gonna move the bench press out of the way, going into a standing row. Now, I like to have about the same amount of weight on this exercise as I do for the bench press. So one is pushing, one is pulling. So we're balancing between those two sides. So muscles work sort of like a teeter-totter. You've got one muscle over here. Imagine like there's someone sitting on this side of this teeter-totter or scale, and one over here. So we want to keep those balanced between the two. So if we work one side, we want to work the other as well. So if we're doing pushing, we also want to do pulling. All right, so from here, Hinging at the hips, keeping the back straight, letting the arms hang towards the ground. You're gonna pull up to your chest. So from here, pulling up, pinching those shoulder blades together. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Going all the way back down to straight. See how my shoulder blades come forward? That's what you want to do. Let them come all the way forward, all the way back. You don't want to keep them pinched up here. You want to let them come back all the way down, because that's where you really build that muscle. And last one. Oh, and relax. Whew. Take a second, grab a drink of water. So, we're doing these muscles in pairs, which is called a superset. So, all that means is we're working 2 exercises that don't use the same muscles in a pair, so we can go back to back exercises. Well, one muscle is working, like the pulling muscles are working. During that time, the pushing muscles are relaxing. And so that's why we do these exercises in sets of 2. So bench press, standing row. So it's okay to take a short break in between sets, but my heart's beating pretty quickly on this one. So I'm letting my heart rate drop back down so that it's not limiting my muscle movement. I want my muscle to be the thing that fatigues, not my heart. So we're gonna go back into dumbbell bench press. What I would recommend is to try and do a set or 2 if you're just starting. We're gonna repeat the exercises again. That's called an additional set. Now, I'm probably gonna do 3 to 4 sets. Don't feel like you have to do that many sets. What the goal is to do as many sets as you can without feeling so sore that you miss your next workout. So if you're working out with me today, if by Friday you're still sore, try and reduce the number of sets. But our goal is to have at least 2 workouts on that same exercise per week. So it's gonna be a little bit of figuring out for your body, how many sets can you tolerate? Because the more sets, the better, but not if you miss out on a whole workout of sets. When I first started this, I did fewer sets than I do now per week, because that's all my body could handle. So it can, as you build it up over time, you can get more sets in as you go. All right, so I kick my knees up into a dumbbell bench press. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. From here, your hands should be right over the top of your shoulders, and you're gonna bring the inside of the dumbbell to your chest. So bending those elbows, dumbbell into your chest, and then back out. 1, 2, remember aiming for about 10, 3, 4, but keep on going until you feel that fatigue building in the muscle. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can stop there if you need. I'm gonna go for another 11 and one more because I need that last one, 12. You can see I started to slow down at 12. That's normal to have happen. As the muscle gets more and more tired, that velocity of the muscle or speed of the muscle slows down. That's a good indicator that you're hitting the right level for your muscle is if you feel that slow down as you're going through. So doing a standing row with dumbbells, you're going to hinge at your hips, pushing your hips out to the back, letting your arms hang. So you want to come back to where you're just above the ground with the dumbbells, because that lets those shoulder blades fully pull forward, and that will give you that upper back muscle development as well. So hinging at the hips, pushing my lower back flat as I'm doing that. That'll protect your low back. From here, pulling up, pinching those shoulder blades together. So pulling up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you can see I'm slowing down, and 10, and relax. It should start to slow down as you hit that upper number of reps. That was set number 2. So if you're just joining us, we're doing effective dumbbell exercises for the upper body, then we're going to do 2 for the lower body. So we're going to do multiple sets of dumbbell bench press and dumbbell standing row. So we're on set number 2. We're going for at least 3 sets today. If you have questions, let me know in the chat. Excuse me a moment. Now I know it sounded like I'm breathing heavy. That happens when you're working hard. If you're pushing your body, you might feel out of breath, you might feel red in the face or sweating. That's normal. That's what you want in the gym. It means you're pushing your body. Just make sure that you're not overheating, you're making sure you're hydrated, and that you have electrolytes too, if you've been going for a long duration workout. And a lot of people say electrolytes. That really just means things like salt, potassium, all these little elements. Do you know there's actually, the way they made Gatorade was they took the same things that they found in sweat, and those are what you sweat out, so that's what you need to be putting back in. That's how they figured out what to put in Gatorade. It's kind of gross sounding, but it actually, that was the science of it. So we're gonna go back to dumbbell bench press. Whew. My heart's beating a little fast still. So I'd like it to come back down a little lower. So I'm gonna take just a minute with the bench. Have a seat here and let this drop back down, because otherwise my heart's limiting me, not my muscles. So I'm not really getting to build as much of that muscle. I'm not getting as effective of a workout. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, where sometimes you need to slow down to be able to go fast. So this is set number 3. We're going for dumbbell bench press. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Came into this workout already feeling a little bit sore over the weekend. So for me, I think that I've been pushing myself up and up and up. I'm gonna give myself some time to heal after this week, because that will actually get me to where I want to go faster. Kind of is counterintuitive, but sometimes slowing down, letting your body recover and heal actually reduces your risk of injury, which is the #1 way of slowing your gym progress or your workout progress is injury. So from here, I'm gonna rest the dumbbells on my knees, try and pick a weight that you can lift around 10 reps with. So 10 times up and down. From here, I'm gonna kick my knees up as I lean back. That gets the dumbbells right over the top of my shoulders. From here, I'm gonna pinch my shoulder blades together, so I'm pushing my chest out. Hands are right over the top of the shoulders. Bending the elbow, bring the inside of the dumbbell to your chest, and then back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's okay for the dumbbells to twist a little bit as you do this. 7. That's actually an advantage of the dumbbells, is you can twist your wrist just a little bit to make it comfortable on your shoulder. 2 more. 9 and 10. You might find in the third set, the dumbbell feels heavier because that muscle already is fatigued. We've already used up a lot of the energy that's stored in the muscle for those muscle fibers. All right, so now doing a standing row. This is for the upper back, so we're working those lat muscles and the muscles between the shoulders. So the lat muscles between the shoulders. So we're gonna hinge at the hip. You can have the dumbbells sort of in front of you right here. So hinging at the hip, back straight, grabbing onto the dumbbells. Now you can feel how your shoulder blades are pulling apart in this position. That's what you want. Want those shoulder blades to slide apart. And from here, pulling up, pinching your shoulder blades together, and then back. And 2. Trying to bring the inside of the dumbbell still up to my chest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. All right. Whew. So that was our upper body exercises. Did 2 exercises 3 times. So we did the exercise pair of a dumbbell bench press, standing row, to work both sides of the upper body. That's a really good compound exercise to be able to target all the different parts of the upper body, or most of the upper body. Now what we're gonna do is 2 lower body exercises. So for that, we're gonna do a squat and a stiff-legged deadlift. So squat hits a lot of those quads and some of the glutes and hamstrings, but then the stiff-legged deadlift really hits those glutes and hamstrings especially. Excuse me a moment. Right before I started today, I realized the heater was on. So it's a lot warmer in here, especially because I'm under lights for the cameras. So we're just taking a quick second to let the heart rate come back down. Then we're gonna jump into squats, which are gonna be really demanding on those leg muscles. So I'd recommend setting the dumbbells to the side for a minute. We're gonna be picking them up in just a second. Now I'm pretty warmed up overall, but I'm just gonna do just a couple body weight movements to get some blood flow into the muscle, make sure that everything is all ready to work under a load under dumbbells. So what I'm gonna do is do a couple body weight squats first. So standing with your feet about shoulder width apart and toes slightly angled out. So the goal is to have your knees go in the same direction as your toes. So if you look down, you should see that your knees cover up your toes as you bend them. So from here, we're just gonna warm up the legs. We're gonna do about 10 squats with just body weight before we hold onto those dumbbells to add that weight. So warming up the legs, going for about 10 body weight squats. Now you can look down at your knees and they should be right over the top of your toes. If they aren't, then try and adjust your feet so that they point the same direction as your knees. So you might need to go a little wider. If you need to have your stance a little wider too, that's okay. Usually the wider your stance, the more your toes have to point out. And relax. Now I'm trying to keep my back straight as I do that too. So I'm hinging at the hips. That's what's gonna protect your lower back. So if you have low back pain, try and think really bending at the waist, right here. So imagine like you're trying to fold right down the middle. All right, now for a stiff-legged deadlift, the easiest way I found to do this is to stand right in front of a wall. So you should be able to reach back and tap the wall with your fingertips. That means you're about the right distance. So reaching back, just tapping, should be right about there. If you can't quite reach it, try and step back to where you're right against with your fingertips. From here, you're gonna push your hips back towards the back, hinging at the hip. If you need to adjust, depending on your leg length to arm length, you wanna go to where you're just tapping the wall with your hips. What we're doing is hinging. See how my hips push way to the back? So I'm pushing back, trying to lengthen that hamstring. So I'm working all these muscles along the back with this one. So we're eventually gonna do this with dumbbells, but to master the movement, you're gonna warm up, pushing your hips to the back, trying to tap that wall. I'm still bending right at the middle. So imagine like this is a piece of paper that needs to fold right in half. And keep those legs as straight as possible. Should feel that right back here in your hamstrings. For some people, this will actually be a good stretch as well as a strengthening exercise. Excuse me a sec. It is pretty warm in here today. All right. So now what we're gonna do is grab some dumbbells. Now, if you've never done this before, I would start with a light dumbbell and then work your way up. So it's better to go lighter than you expect and then build up. So we're gonna do dumbbell squats. I'm only doing 20 and 20, so 40 pounds total today. So my legs are more sore, so I'd rather start with a lighter weight because I can always go heavier if I need to. So feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointed out. You're gonna bend your knees, trying to keep your back flat. So I'm keeping my back straight as I can, bending down, and then coming back up. It's okay if it's even arched a little bit. So you're sort of resting the weights around the top of your shoulders and going down and up. 1, 2, 3. Trying for about 10 of these. 4, 5, 6. Just feel that in the front of your thigh. 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. And relax. Now, from this, you're gonna stand right in front of the wall. You're gonna let your arms hang completely. And from here, letting your hands hang down towards your toes. You're gonna push your hips to the back, keeping your back flat, and come back up. This is called a stiff-legged deadlift. So don't let your knee bend. pushing your hips out towards the back. Try and push both hips out towards the back. Feel that in your hamstrings and glutes and the back of your hips and thigh. Just checking myself in the mirror, making sure I'm straight. 3 more, 3 more. And relax. With this one, the reason I use the wall for this is because it's a spotter for you. You can know if you're twisting it all. If only one side touches, you know that you're putting more weight on one side. And that's why I really like using the wall as a guideline for it. And it keeps you a little safer in this one. I did this once where I had a little bit of a twist to one side, and that's all it took to injure my hip, where it pinched the nerve right in my leg, and that was enough to knock me out for a week. So that's why I really like this. It keeps you honest to have that wall behind you, and helps protect too. Because trust me, I don't want that for anyone, none of you, because that is so painful to have to happen. So we want to strengthen those muscles without hurting anything. So that's why if you do it right, your risk of injury goes down rather than up. Because you're strengthening the tissues, you're strengthening the muscles that protect those nerves, protect those joints. So we're challenging the muscles without over-challenging where you risk more injury. So that's why we want to start small and build up rather than start high. It's better, you can always add weight, but injury is what we want to avoid. All right, so we're working, if you're just joining us, we're working on 2 dumbbell exercises for the lower body. So we're doing squats for the quads and stiff legged deadlift for the glutes and hamstrings in the back of the thigh and hips. So this is set number 2. This is gonna be a follow along workout, so hopefully you're working with me. I'm here showing how to do what I'm doing my workout right here to help you, to hopefully encourage. That's why I'm doing these on film or not film, but on video, because I want to help encourage people to live happy, healthy lives, to strengthen, because it's possible for all of us to get stronger, to get healthier, to build that muscle. And hopefully the physique follows with it, but even the first step is building up that strength, building up that health. And then down the road, that's what I'm trying. I mean, obviously all of us probably want to look better, look more attractive, look better in the mirror to ourselves. But the first step is getting that health, in my opinion, to really get strong, get healthy, be able to live the way you want to be up and active and mobile. Especially, sometimes those physique changes take a long time. Depends on your genetics, how fast they show up. But the things that happen quickly are you feel better, you feel stronger. Those can happen in the early stages where you're like, you know what? I feel like my back is not as stiff, my knees aren't as stiff, I'm more active during the day, I feel like I can move around. And that's what I want to help you guys find or continue to do if you're already doing it. So I'm here to help, I'm here to encourage, or to answer any questions you might have. I will do my best. I don't know everything, I'm not perfect, but I can help. If it's something I can help with, I'll let you know, or if I don't know the answer, I'll try and find it. So we're all still always learning. That includes me. And if I can do anything to help you guys, I will answer any questions you might have. So we're doing a squat. I'm gonna show from the other camera angle for this time, so you can see what my feet and knees are doing. So I'm standing with my feet about shoulder width, give or take. Toes slightly angled out, just to where it feels comfortable. And my feet are going in the same direction as my knees. From here, I'm gonna bend my knees, going as low as I can to the ground while keeping my back straight. So bending my knees, going down, and then back, going for 10 of these. Only go as low as you can keep that back straight. Six. All right, trying to go for 10. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now laying the dumbbells hang down, standing right in front of that wall, we're gonna do a stiff-legged deadlift. Pushing the hips to the back, letting your arms hang, try and keep that back straight. And 1, 2, 3, step just a little closer to the wall. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost done. 9, and last one, 10. And relax. I believe that was set number 2. So we've got one more set to go, and then that will be our upper body and lower body section done. Whew. Just gonna take a minute, and I'm actually gonna sit down, let my heart rate come back down. As especially with legs, it's much more cardiovascular intensive. So your heart's gonna be beating faster, your lungs are gonna be pulling in more air. Especially if you're talking while doing these exercises, that makes it so much harder. So I'm giving my body a minute or two between sets, because that way my heart will slow down, my body will recover, and then I can make sure that my legs are the things that I'm developing, those larger leg muscles. So I'm just gonna have a seat and wait for my heart to slow back down. Now, the way you do exercises in your workout, the order is somewhat important, because the later the exercise is, the harder it's gonna be. So if you have a particular muscle you want to develop more, like you really wanna develop your glutes in the back of your hips, work on your butt muscles, that's your glutes. There's actually 3 of them. There's the glute max, gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus. But a lot of people just think about the maximus because it's the big one. You want to work out that muscle and get it the biggest, the fastest. I put that at the beginning of your workout, because that's where you're going to be most fresh. That's when you can have the most potential to develop that muscle and not be limited by other things. So I'm just going to take another minute, and then we're going to go into set number 3. As you go, usually the recovery is harder as we go for this. So the amount of time between sets goes up because you're sweating, you're hot, you're having to deal with a lot more demands on your system, because your body is having to dissipate more heat or get rid of more heat. All right, going for set number 3. So if hopefully you're working out with me, I encourage you to Make this part of your routine. Do these workouts on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're looking to start your routine, start working out, start exercising, or if you've been exercising and want to just join in, either way, love to have you. Want to build a community of people to help encourage one another, stay fit, stay active. So, last set of this, we're gonna do squats. So, resting the dumbbells right on the top of your shoulders, feet about shoulder width apart. I feel a little bit dizzy, so I'm taking a second. Grab a couple breaths. All right, bending your knees, keeping your back straight. Only go as low as you can keep your back straight. So going down and up, bending those knees, keeping the back flat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and last one, 10. Oh man. And standing with your back against a wall or near a wall, about a foot away from that wall, feet shoulder width apart, arms hanging down. We're gonna do a stiff-legged deadlift. All right, pushing your hips out to the back, keeping the back straight, letting your arms hang, tap the wall with both sides of your hips, and then back up. So you're pushing those hips out to the back. 3, 4, 5, going for about 10 of these. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. All right. Take a moment, grab a drink of water. So we've been going for 45 minutes, but we covered a lot of the major muscles of the upper body, a lot of the major muscles of the lower body. So if you like these sorts of workouts and want to see more, I host these on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. This week, we're ramping up to our final push, so working hard. Next week, I'm gonna go into some stretching. We're gonna give your body some time to recover and heal and build up that muscle, because we actually build up muscle not in the gym, but after the gym. So I can tell you, for me especially, I can still feel a little bit sore from last workout. So I know my body is about hitting its limit, needs some time to rest and recover. That's why I like to take every month or two, a week off, do some stretching, work on some flexibility while my body is healing from all the work that I've done. So hope to see you guys on Wednesday and Friday this week and next week for stretching. Take care.